Hello, I'm Frank Hanaway and welcome to Big Journey, Small Steps. It's been a while since I've made a video and there was a reason for that. You know, I always had a space set up in my home to shoot videos, and then when I was selling the house, I had to take that space down. I made one video sort of in the corner of a room, but I never had time to plan. People were, we were showing the house a lot. Anyway, I sold the house. I sold the house that my parents built for us in 1963, and it was emotional, and it took a lot of effort. It's a strange story because after only 4 days on the market, we had 2 offers, and it actually turned out that the second offer ended up being the people that actually bought the house, but we turned down their initial offer because the other offer was a cash offer, but that fell through. So it was difficult selling the house because it's such a unique property. It had a lot of acreage, 3 acres, had a pool, a spa, so many things like that, a fully renovated mother-in-law suite, but then the older part of the house hadn't been touched in 25 or 30 years. It had been renovated back in the late 80s, I think. I'm not even sure when. So the house is sold, and I've been through quite a journey about where I'm going. Right this very minute, I'm shooting this at an Airbnb in Tampa, off Gandy by Ballast Point. And I'll be here for almost another week until I close on my new home next Friday. So originally, all I could think about was getting away from here. I mean, there are so many memories here. Memories are good and memories are bad. There's just no point to dwelling in the past, but you could do that wherever you were, it didn't matter. And I was thinking I wanted to be close to my friends that live in Atlanta, and I still want to be close to them. But there were people here that needed me, and not just one, several people. And they're my dear friends too. And if you hear some noise, it's Sita, and she's been adjusting to living in the Airbnb, which is perfect for her really, but she's never been with me in any other space than the other house. So she's puttering around. I'm just going to let her go. She's happy. So I went up to Atlanta in November, you may or may not remember, right before Thanksgiving, and I looked at some properties there, and then I realized I couldn't keep my dog if I moved to Atlanta unless I bought a house. I was looking at lofts and condos. And then I also thought of the fact that there was the HOA fees that had to be paid every month. And I'm well off for retirement, but I don't want my monthly outflow to be too great. I don't want to start off with, bless you, honey. I didn't want to start off with having to spend a lot out of my retirement income. So anyway, then it just began to dawn on me that I couldn't get rid of Sita. She's my responsibility. I know her very well. I understand her very well. She had a rough life before she came to me. So then I began looking here in Florida, close, I thought, to the people that needed me. And I wanted to live in Seminole Heights and get an old bungalow that was renovated. And somewhere along the way, I realized that I was going to be getting a lot less bang for my buck if I did that, if I moved into the hot neighborhood in Tampa, and that old frame houses, 100 years old or close to 100 years old, come with a lot of issues that are going to keep coming up. And so I'm trying to think of retirement in like How can I have the least stressful life? And so it became apparent to me that that was to buy a home that was in really good shape. And I thought about getting a new build, but I sort of wasn't crazy about the environmental impact of a new build. And just little by little, things whittled away, and I'm ending up moving into a place that if you'd asked me a year ago, would you ever live in this house? I would say absolutely not, for a number of reasons. But I'm moving to Providence Lakes, which is an established subdivision about 2 miles away from my family home that I just sold. It's in great shape. When we had the inspection, the inspector, who I already knew, said, "This is a move-in ready home. You're making a really good purchase." It's very cute. It has a semi-open floor plan. The kitchen is kind of around a corner, but the kitchen is open to the dining room, and the dining room living space is all open to each other. And I don't actually mind there being a little separation with the kitchen. There's a place where people can come and stand and talk to me when I'm cooking if so desire. I don't do big parties anymore. I have to kind of get that through my head, though I'm kind of thinking of having some sing-alongs over at the house, because we used to do that in our family for years and years, and I miss it so much, and people have talked to me about it, and I guess if I want to do it, I'm the one to do it. So anyway, another thing about the house was that it has a fenced-in backyard, and there's a lot of green space in this subdivision, and over my back fence looks out into a huge green space, and the first thing you see is this enormous live oak, which I am in love with live oaks and have been my entire life. And then there's a lake over to the side that you can see if you look for it. And it's not exactly the view. The view is really the tree, and that's good for me. So there's a fenced-in yard for my dog, which was important. It's a very dog-friendly neighborhood. But it has the garage on the front facing the street, which I always said I will never have a house like that. Well, what happened was I started to realize I really needed a garage. And if I was going to live in town, it was unlikely I was going to get a garage, or if I did, I was going to get one of those tiny, small ones that your car, even though I have a compact car, that your car barely fits into. So I began to loosen up, and it was so interesting that I just love my new house. And once I get in there, I'll do a tour, and I may not even wait until I get it all fixed up. But there's not a lot to do. But of course, I need some furniture. I have to have a spa put in the back. That's treatment for my arthritis. The fencing, I'm going to replace the fencing. So there's still a few things to do. But anyway, I'm doing very well. It has been emotional at times. But when I walked away from the closing, I've met so many wonderful people. My real estate agent for selling was just wonderful with me. He's a gifted teacher, though he doesn't realize it, and I learned a lot about real estate, enough to know I don't want to do it. Though I think my mother would have loved to have been a real estate agent, because she could handle all the ups and downs and stresses and everything. So anyway, so I had such a good time at the closing. When it was all over, it was just kind of like it was a relief. A wonderful family is moving into our old home with 3 children. They're really excited to have the space for the kids. I'm excited for them, and we've been in contact a lot. They've already started demoing they're going to renovate the house, and I'm excited about that. There's lots of things that need doing, and in my neighborhood, there are people that I love dearly that their houses are just falling down around them because they can't afford to take care of them anymore. And so I'm trying to do the best I can to see that doesn't happen to me, that I'm in a spot that's easy access to things and close to the people that I love and care about, and I can go to Atlanta whenever I want to. I'm retired, finally. So that's all I've got for you today. I apologize for the long wait, but I couldn't figure out how to do a video. And so I brought my equipment with me to the Airbnb. I've got some lighting. And anyway, thanks for spending time with me. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you peace and joy.